What's up, it's you? For today's video, we have an Impidimp evolution team on Moveset Impidimp. So this team consists of 4 Pokemon only, and this was quite a difficult team to run due to having all the same sort of types, and Impidimp and Morgrem aren't, the bulkiest Pokemon in the world. So we had Impidimp, Morgrem, Grimmsnarl, and G-Max Grimmsnarl to top the team off. If you guys want to check me out on Twitch, make sure you do. This is where I do all my streams, and it's been so much fun. Thank you to all the people that came over to the big stream we had yesterday. And if you haven't followed me already and you want to get in and try and battle me or just come and watch, it's very entertaining and super chill as well. So I got 2 battles today. I did about 30 battles with this team. Round 30 battles. I did some on my stream and some off stream, and these were the 2 most entertaining battles that I had. Now, I actually think about doing a evolution team every single week, like once a week, because I really enjoy these teams. It's probably some of my most favorite teams that I do. So if there's a really evolution team you've got a burning passion for me to do, please leave it below in the comment section. And if you see someone suggested in there and think, wow, that's pretty good, leave a like on their comment as well, so I know that you guys want to see this, right? I want to do the ones you guys want to see the most, right? And we'll go from there. So we got a Lampet lead here, and this was a battle against Viv as well. And we got the Lampet going for a trick here. Now, it's going to be tricking me a choice specs. Now, that's good, but it's bad at the same time because I'm locked into one move. We're going to be going for that Dank Pulse there. I actually wanted to go for Endure and then get my Salic Berry off, but unfortunately the Lampet has the Salic Berry and it's going to faint, so I'm not going to be like super fast like I normally am with the Endure Salic combo. So we had Timber Nature on Morgrem and Max Speed and Max Special Attack. Worked pretty well with that dual stab there with Dazzling Gleam and Dank Pulse, right? So we got the big old Arachnoid coming in here. Now this thing is very bulky on the special side, but I had +2 in a specs. I was like, this is going to do like heaps and heaps of damage to it, right? It may just live, but I was actually thinking it might even one-hit KO, and I may even get a flinch, right? Unfortunately, I was going to say it Digivolve. It Dynamax here, and this is what happens when you come to Australia, right, guys? You come across spiders this big. I mean, minus the space helmet. I'm only joking, they're not that big. They're probably half that big. So we got the Morgrem here, going for the Dark Pulse, and it does like nothing. I reckon that's like a 4-hit KO, so I had +2 in special attack and a choice specs, and it was still a 4-hit KO. That's how bad it was. So unfortunately, Morgrem is going to get one shot at there by the Arachnoid. That's very, very unfortunate. There's nothing I could have done about that. Half this team is like really, really squishy as well. Now I'm assuming it's like the water bubble physical set there, and that's definitely going to take me out. So this is a big, big problem here. I was going to crack a joke, right? Because you know how you have like totem Pokemon? If that was shiny, I could have said Hacker Exposed, shiny Totem Arachnoid, but it didn't work. I really, really wanted to do that one, but it wasn't shiny. Anyway, so we got Impidimp here. This is the most risky set on my team. It's a max health and split sort of defense set here with Everlight. So it's got a Swagger Infatuation combo, and basically you want to try and make the opponent hit themselves in confusion and just like basically do nothing, right? Unfortunately there, I'm going to get hit by another big stream of water, and Impidimp is going to faint, so I've lost half my team already. Now, thankfully, my opponent was generous in using 4 Pokemon themselves. Usually, I'd verse people with 6 Pokemon. So, and I definitely don't expect my opponent to bring 6, only 4 Pokemon when they got 6, right? So, usually I'm versing 6 Pokemon. And, that's fine. So, my next set is the Grimmsnarl set. This is my G-Max one. We got Leech Life, Play Rough, Drain Punch, and Sucker Punch. And on this set, we got Max Health and Max Attack. So, it's very bulky there. And usually, I could say it's my ace, but then again, my other Grimmsnarl had the capacity to be the ace on the team as well. They're both, they're both really good Pokemon. I had to have 2 pretty good Pokemon on a team when you're running like an Impidimp evolution team, right? Usually, Impidimp was the worst Pokemon team because it was such luck-based, and it just got shreked every single battle, like over and over and over. So we're going to grow some big old long leg man. This Pokemon never misses leg day. Look at those big hairy legs. If only my hair on my legs look that good. I mean, come on. It's going everywhere at the moment. All right, so I feel like it's just, combed its legs down or something. So go for that G-Max Snooze there. I thought they may, I don't know, I was thinking it might get some damage on this thing. I definitely didn't expect to take it out because it's very, very bulky. So getting a Paralyze there, and we got the Leftovers Recovery on the Arachnoid as well. The only thing I was thinking, right, once it loses its Dynamax, it's going to take a lot more damage than that. So its G-Max move is pretty cool, but the opponent is already paralyzed, so I won't be able to like put anything to sleep like that. And when you go for Max Starfall, you really can't put it to sleep after that. So I couldn't really use Max Knuckle. I could use Max Flutterby, but I was like, yeah, I'll just use Max Flutterby. It doesn't really matter. This Pokemon's not going to be able to do too much damage to me anyway. So go for that Max Flutterby. Now, this set was a bulky assault vest set, right? So I had two ways of actually bolstering my attack and getting health back at the same time. So we had Drain Punch, right, to bolster my attack. And I also had that to get my health back, and I had Leech Life as well. So I had two ways to get my health back, and I was very bulky on the special side. So I'm going to get turned into a water type here, which is kind of interesting. And I can just go for any attack now and take it out. So I was thinking maybe I should go for a Max Knuckle, but I'm like, maybe it's got something scummy like, I don't know, something to like maybe freeze dry or something to, I don't know what they were trying to do with Soak, but I didn't trust it, and I just wanted to get rid of it like straight away because it had caused me so much trouble. It took out like half my team. Now the rain is going to stop, which is going to be pretty good there, and the next Pokemon here we got coming in, I was thinking I could definitely handle these last two Pokemon. They may be able to take me out, but I wasn't really sure about that. And then they swapped in Togepi. I was like, oh, I don't know, guys. I don't think I can handle Togepi. So I was getting, I was pretty confident at the moment I could handle, little Eggy here. And I was like, okay, well, what can we do against Eggy? I can't use two of them. Actually, I can only use one move, which is Play Rough. So go for the Play Rough there on the little Togepi, and it does nothing. Like, look at the damage there, son. So we got max health. I reckon that's like max health, max defense, Everlight, and they popped the Reflect too. And at this point, I was starting to laugh because I'm like, I can't even do any damage to this Togepi. It's like completely whelmed me. So going for the Play Rough again, it does 2 damage to that little egg, and then it's going to go for a nasty bite. I'm like, oh no, they're going to try and sweep me with the Togepi. Like, they're going to reverse Togepi sweep me. Only on PIMPNITE's channel, people. So all I can do here, I could swap, but my other Pokemon's physical as well, and it needs some boosts to actually get it up to that level of actually doing any damage. So then I'm thinking, what can I do here? I just got to stand and see what is going to happen with this Togepi set, right? Maybe I might get a lucky crit. So now the Togepi is going to go for another nasty pot. It's got +4 in special attack now. This thing could pop a Dazzling Gleam off and just like sweep me out of the battle. I was low-key worried here. I'm like, what can I do to this Togepi? Like, only on PIMPNITE's channel, right, you'll be afraid to see a Togepi, right? I mean, I got to get this thing down, right? So go for the Play Rough. It's going to miss. I don't know how I'll miss that little egg, but it happens. And Togepi, instead of attacking me, is going to baton pass those stats onto another Pokemon. And you guys are going to love what the next Pokemon is. I started laughing when the Pokemon came out. And guess what, people? It's none other than the dynamic Dottler. So Dottler, right, this is the first time I've seen someone use Dottler in a battle late. So I was super interested to see what they're going to do. Now, remember for a second, right, I was actually a water type. Right, remember that. So go for the Leech Strike. That's the best I could possibly do there. It's going to do 2 damage to Dottler, right? So Dottler's probably definitely got a Everlight. So now Dottler, right, is going to pop that Psychic Terrain in the field. Now, normally it wouldn't be able to hit me with any Psychic moves, but then I'm not a Dark type Pokemon anymore, aren't I? Because of that Soak. So the Reflect is going to wear off. That's good news. I can now go for a Leech Life. I'm thinking, you know, even with that Reflect gone, I don't feel confident that I can take this one out. And I didn't. I only did like a little bit of damage to it. So maybe like another 1 or 2. Then it's going to go for Expanding Force. Expanding Force +4 special attack. That does so much damage to me. If I didn't have Assault Vest, I was gone. So, man, Dottler hits hard under Psychic Terrain, right? So go for another Leech Life. Hopefully I can take the Dottler out. This thing's a threat right now. It hangs on by like a little bit of health. And now it's definitely going to be able to take me out with the Expanding Force. So Expanding Force, Psychic Terrain, +4 Dottler, only on PIMPNITE's channel, people. This is where you see this sort of stuff. So Grimmsnarl is going to go down. All I've got left, right, is my other Grimmsnarl. Now, it only has a little bit of health left, right? So it's not going to be the speediest Pokemon out there. Togepi wasn't able to give it any speed. I don't think it, I don't think that was in their set to give it speed anyway. I think it was just to give it special attack and bulk and, pass it in. So I can go for a Spirit Break here, and Dottler is finally going to go down, man. Dottler, that was a really cool Dottler set there. I'll give it to them. That deserves a like just for the Dottler, right? So the next Pokemon, or the last Pokemon is Togepi. So I'm like, does their Togepi set, number 1, does it have a form of recovery? Does it have like Wish or something like that? And number 2, does it have an attacking move? Like, I know that it's got Nasty Plot. Like, does it have an attacking move at all? I wasn't really sure, but I wasn't going to stick around and start using Bulk Ups. I just wanted to get rid of this thing like stat, right? And drop it special attack. So now Togepi is going to go for a Reflect, and it might be a little bit too late there. I can go for another attack, but just in case they could have they could get around this still with a healing move. That's what I was thinking. Like, maybe like 2 more hits I can take this out, or should I start going for a bulk ups? I was like, nah, I'm going to put some pressure on them to see what they're going to do, right? So go for another Spirit Break. Spirit Break is a fairy type move that always drops this special attack of the opponent. So I think they're -2 at the moment. And then they've got Metronome, the absolute savage have Metronome, and Metronome is going to get Acid, and Acid's only going to do a little bit of damage to me. Now, the only thing I was worried about, right, is if this lives the next attack, what if it gets something like Horn Drill or like Guillotine or Sheer Cold? I'm starting to get worried by this Togepi, you know. I'm shaking right at the moment, you know. Like, first Togepi, then Dottler. What's else going to come? You know, I'm actually glad they've only got 4 Pokemon. My heart can't take this. So go for the Spirit, and it's going to take the Togepi out. My goodness, I'm glad that didn't get Sheer Cold. I might have had to quit YouTube. Thank you for the battle, Viv. A really, really cool team there. I really like the Dottler Psychic Terrain. That was super, super cool there. I actually really want to do a Dottler sweep. Like, I've been wanting to do one for ages. So, I don't know. Do you people want to see a Dottler sweep? I have an idea of mine, but I just haven't got around to doing it. Okay, so the next battle we got is against Cotmoset, and I wonder what antics he's going to have today on his team. Oh, we got the big old Moby. Whoop! And it's a shiny Wailord, right? It's a purple shiny Wailord. So what could possibly go wrong here? So I've got my magical lead here that always beats every single Pokemon. Definitely doesn't get beaten every time. And this is a Praxis set, right? So I explained this one before. We've got Track, Swagger, Thunder Wave, and Rest, right? So if I can't infatuate the Moby, right? I can't do that. I mean, all I can do, right, is go for the Paralysis and then go for the Swagger, right? So I was sort of hoping maybe I could do a Paralysis like turn 1, then go for the Swagger, then go for another one, then, you know, slide in another one, and hopefully the Wailord hits itself in confusion. So it's going to go for the Brine there, and Brine is a pretty weak move. However, it gets 120 base power, right? If it, Pokemon is like half or below health. So it hits really, really hard. Unfortunately, my Swagger's going to miss. Then the Wailord, right, pops out the Hyper Beam. Damn, we've had Normal Gem, Hyper Beam, Wailord, and Psychic Terrain, Expanding Force, Dottler. This has been like a roller coaster of emotions right now. So Impidimp is going to get wrecked for about 1,000th time. Out of all the battles that I had, that strategy never worked. Actually, no, it did work once, but then the opponent had like legendaries and stuff. It was like a lame battle. So yeah, that was like the only moment in this life that I was happy. So we're going to slide in here with Morgrem. I've actually got a special 1-turn opportunity here to get a +2 in special attack. Then I was like, okay, do I go for another one? Because they've got Brine, they've got Hyper Beam. That are probably the most powerful moves I've got. I was a little bit worried about another Hyper Beam. However, they didn't have a normal gem to give it that little bit of extra base power. So I'm thinking, do I attack it, or could it be better to go for the Dank Pulse and get that, maybe get that flinch, you know? So go for that Dank Pulse. Obviously, I'm going to outspeed the Wailord there. Does some really fat damage at the 3/4, and they get the Hyper Beam off again. I was like, oh no. I don't want to go down to Hyper Beam again. Hyper Beam looks absolutely amazing. And Morgrem just manages to withstand it on 20 health. And also on top of that, right, Galaxy Brain activate that Sally Bird, right? So we've got +1 in speed, and I've got +4 in special attack now, so that's really, really good. Now, there is one Pokemon on the team that's actually very fast, and I wasn't sure if it was going to outspeed me at this point, but I had to go for it, right? I was like, I might as well get a free special attack boost and then take the Wailord out afterwards. Now, I definitely can't go for any more boosts here. It's going to be able to take me out easily with Brine, and I can just go for a Dark Pulse and take it out like super, super easy. Now, I reckon if I had +4 in special attack, I would have one-shotted the Wailord there easy. But man, I got 2 Hyper Beams off against me. So the next Pokemon, this is one I was talking about that could be very fast and outspeed me, is the Dragapult. And it's going to go for Thunder. I was like, Thunder, that's a really kind of risky move to deal on 20 health. And I'm thinking, oh man, what sort of set is this going to be like? What is it going to be this time? It's sort of like the pot. What's the saying? The popcorn and the kettle black. It's like I do that sort of thing too. So we got the Grimmsnarl here. This is the G-Max Grimmsnarl. You can tell by the shiny. And I've got in this one, I've got Play Rough and I've got Sucker Punch. I'm thinking, okay, they probably could expect Sucker Punch, but maybe they won't expect Sucker Punch. So then I went for the Quick Claw there, and Quick Claw is going to activate. Sucker Punch is obviously going to fail there, and they're going to go for a lock-on. So I'm like, I think I sort of know what this set's going to be. So it's going to be like lock-on and like, I'd say like 3 super low, or just low accuracy moves that, high base power and Dragapult, right? So lock-on. I was like, yeah, I don't think Dragapult gets Horn Drill these days, so I'm safe from them, right? So I can go for another Sucker Punch. I decided to go for the double Sucker Punch there, and Dragapult is going to get bodied in one shot. So I'm kind of curious to see what other moves that actually had. So I'm guessing like lower accuracy ones. That would kind of make sense, right? So the next Pokemon we got is the Drifblim. So it's called Smoke on Rules. it's going to use Minimize, isn't it? So as soon as I see the nickname, I'm like, yep, it's definitely going to use that, and it's definitely going to do some scummy evasiveness. So obviously my attacks, I wish I had its other signature move, because that actually checks, bypasses, actually, like, it's on the tip of my tongue, False Surrender. So it's got 2 signature moves. So unfortunately there, it's going to get a Minimize up and a Tailwind. So it's like, okay, the best I can do here is swap out my Grimmsnarl, go into my second Grimmsnarl, and start setting some bulk ups up, right? So if I can get around that Minimize, I could definitely one-shot the opponent. So I'm probably only going to get one chance, right, to get around this. So the Drifblim is going to go for a Baton Pass here. Actually, both opponents had Baton Pass, which is kind of cool. I think these battles were almost back-to-back as well, if I can remember. And they counter with a Wooper. Man, Wooper. What is this Wooper gonna do? So we had Dotler, now we've had Wooper. Like, this is fire. So go for another bulk up here. I'm a little bit scared of this Wooper, man. It's been quite intimidating at the moment. It's swishing its blue tail, and then Wooper's gonna have Dynamic Punch Wooper, and it doesn't even have hands. Like, where does its hands come from? I'm trying to see them. I'm looking at Wooper intensely, right? The only thing I can see, I just noticed something. I noticed something like really important. Wooper has a Wi-Fi signal on its stomach. It's like licky licky. I didn't even notice that until now. Like, this is the first time in my entire life of playing Pokemon that I noticed that. So go for Spirit Break, and I think Wooper's going to break my spirit if it lands another Dynamic Punch. So go for the Aqua Tail there. I think I'm going to go down in probably 2 more hits. I do not want to lose to a Wooper. Like, this is like I'm on the verge of quitting Pokemon again. So the Tailwind is going to peter out there. I could go for another Spirit Break. I'm confident if I land a Spirit Break, it'll do a lot of damage. I'm thinking they're probably running Everlight on this set too. So unfortunately, my move is going to miss again, and Dynamic Punch lands again. I was like, no. Oh no, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but there still is that confusion hanging around. Now, the item I got on this was Leftovers too. The EVs for this one, you're probably wondering if I didn't say. This is a very, very good set too, this slow, bulky Grimmsnarl. This was max health and max defense, right? And then I had the False Surrender actually drop the special... Sorry, max health and max special defense. And then I had False Surrender drop the special attack of the opponent. And then I could bulk up. And this thing was like virtually indestructible, like once it got set up, right? It dealt a lot of damage. It was tanky, had a great ability. So it really rolled well. I think I've actually used this set before in some of my theme teams, or at least one. So go for another Spirit Break there. Wooper is going to get around it, and it's going to go for a Stomping Tantrum. Stomping Tantrum is going to get a boost because the move before actually missed. And that does a lot of damage. That was at full base power then. Man, I got to get rid of this Wooper. Like, Wooper, like this has been crazy, right? On PIMPNITE's channel, right, you see Dotler and Wooper and Togepi. We can't miss Togepi, guys. We can't miss Togepi. You see these threats, guys. I bring out the meta. Like, I strive to bring out the meta in my teams, right? So, I've only got one more chance. I've got to hit the Desperation G-Max button. And I got to go for I can go for a Fat Max Knuckle here and take that out. Now, I do have a Drifblim. I'm thinking... Okay, at this stage, it's like, now, if I use Max Knuckle here, there could be a chance maybe they'll try and swap in Drifblim. I'm not sure, but like if that was me, that's what I'd try and do if I seen like a Pokemon sending up Max Knuckle. I'd want to try and stall out that Dynamax G-Max, as much as I can, because it's 3 turns. It's a fairly long while, but maybe you could stall those turns out a little bit. Usually, if you can't, this is my sort of rule of thumb with a Dynamax Pokemon, right, or G-Max Pokemon. If you can't take the Pokemon out, you need to be able to stall them out the 3 turns, right? Whether it's going to be a Substitute, whether you swap in with a type advantage, like a fighting into a ghost move, that sort of thing. Then Miltank slides in the battle. I found that fishy as a Basculin, right? I'm like, he knows that I've got Max Knuckle, right? This has to be bait, right? I know the bait because I'm good at setting the bait, right? So instead of going for the Max Knuckle, right, I went for its signature move, which is G-Max Snooze. So and then the Drifblim comes in. It's got the Culber Berry on top of that, just in case, people. And it's going to be going down in one shot. Man, I'm glad I got like a couple of boosts up on attack, because that Culber Berry, it could have lived there and minimized me up. So down goes the Drifblim. We got a Miltank left, and we got a Bulbasaur. I was like, what's Bulbasaur? Okay, then I'm thinking either Bulbasaur is going to be Dynamax, or it's going to be Miltank. It's going to be flopping those, those milk dispensers around. So we got a big old Bulbasaur here. It's not often you see a Dynamax Bulbasaur, and I'm thinking, okay, well, Bulbasaur, I could probably, this almost should be able to take this out in one shot. If it is an Everlight, if it's like a bulky set, and then, maybe not. So it's good. It's actually quite funny to see big old Bulbasaur. So Bulbasaur's going to go for a Max Guard there, stalling my turn of Dynamax out. and I went for the G-Max snooze in hopes to put it to sleep, and that's not going to happen. So down goes my Grimmsnarl or G-Max Grimmsnarl into a normal Grimmsnarl. Now I'm thinking, all right, my best plan here would be to go for the Leech Life to actually get some health back. I can't really go for Play Rough. Drain Punch is going to do nothing, or I could go for Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch would be damage, but I'm going to go for Leech Life and get some health back, right? So I went for the Leech Life there, and Bulbasaur's going to go for a Max Strike. So, okay, well, Max Strike is going to not do too much damage against me, right? And then it goes over half health. I'm like, what the heck? They did so much damage to me, and it was a crit. I was like, all right, I've been in this situation before where I've got critted twice. I have to go for a Leech Life now. I've got to go for Leech Life and get some health back. The only good thing about attacking a Dynamax Pokemon with a move like, any draining move, right, you will get a lot of health back, like, regardless. I mean, if you have to do like a decent chunk of damage, but you always get like a lot of health back, right? So my speed is going to be dropped again. Not that it matters, I've got Sucker Punch on this set just in case there, and I'm going to go for another Leech Life, getting my health back. So now I'm in a position where I can go for a Sucker Punch, right, and take the Bulbasaur out. Now, Bulbasaur, for argument's sake, could go for a status move, but eventually it's going to have to come down to me living the attack and go for Leech Life, or me out-predicting with the Sucker Punch, when they decide to go for attacking move. So I thought about this for a little bit, whether I should Leech Life or not, because I know that I've got Sucker Punch, but then I went for the obvious play. I threw a spanner in the works, and it worked. So down goes the Bulbasaur. So we got the Miltank left as the last Pokemon. It's like, okay, no worries. I can go for a Drain Punch here, and Drain Punch will definitely get my health back too, which would be like super, super nice. Now, Miltank is a surprisingly fast Pokemon, but it doesn't matter anyway because I've got like 2 negatives in speed, right? So I thought to go for Drain Punch. It's going to go for a Sweet Scent. I'm like, hang on here. I know what's going on. So this is obviously trying to it's trying to hit like a lower accuracy move against me. So go for the Drain Punch there. Miltank doesn't go down, but man, it takes a lot of damage, and that's going to be restoring up my Grimmsnarl, right? So like, okay. What's going to happen? Like, what is the Miltank going to do here? So my best bet here was just I could go for a Sucker Punch, but I'm thinking, oh, they could go for a Milk Drink, so I better not do that. Let's go for Drain Punch and see what happens, right? And the Miltank's going to go for a Dynamic Punch, another Dynamic Punch Pokemon. So that's going to enable him to land that against me and confuse me, which is a good strategy, right? Because if I hit myself here, right, I'm going to be doing a lot of damage. Plus, Miltank actually outspeed me. But fortunately for me, I do not get hit by Confusion, and Miltank is going to go down to the Drain Punch. But man, these were 2 really cool battles and 2 really great teams. So some great, new Pokemon being used, some really cool sets, and I really hope you people enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow with another theme team. Of course, I got 4 planned for this week, so spoiling you people. All right, people. Peace out.